Stop what you're doing right now, because what I'm about to tell you could mean hundreds of extra dollars hitting your bank account this very month. If you receive Social Security, whether that's retirement, disability, or survivor benefits, there is a massive update from the Social Security Administration that took effect in April 2026, and millions of Americans have no idea it applies to them. This is real. This is happening right now. And if you miss this window, you may leave money on the table that you've already earned and fully deserve. Stay right here, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to break this all down in plain, simple language, and I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do today. Let me start by saying something I mean with all sincerity. You worked your entire life for these benefits. You paid into Social Security for decades. You showed up every single day, rain or shine, when it was hard, when your back ached and your feet were tired. And you did it trusting that the government would hold up their end of the deal. So when there's an update like this one that could actually put more money back in your pocket, you deserve to know about it immediately. Not next month. Not when your neighbor mentions it at church. Right now. The Social Security Administration has rolled out a series of adjustments and benefit corrections this April that stem from a combination of the 2026 Cost of Living Adjustment finalization, outstanding back payment processing, and the continued rollout of the Social Security Fairness Act that was signed into law at the end of 2024. For many of you watching, especially those who worked in public service, those who are married or widowed, and those on disability benefits, this April could look very different in your bank account, and in a good way. Let's talk about exactly what changed, because I want this to be crystal clear. No government jargon, no confusing language, just the facts. First, the 2026 COLA, that's the cost of living adjustment, was set at 2.5%. Now, most of you already received that increase back in January, but here is what most people do not realize. The SSA has been working through a significant backlog of benefit recalculations, and many recipients have not yet received the full corrected amount they're owed. Some checks were miscalculated, some adjustments were delayed, and for a large group of retirees and disabled workers, corrected payments, including retroactive amounts, are being issued this month, in April 2026. Second, the Social Security Fairness Act. This is a landmark change. For years, decades actually, millions of public sector workers were penalized under two old rules called the Windfall Elimination Provision and the Government Pension Offset. These rules unfairly reduced or even eliminated Social Security benefits for teachers, firefighters, police officers, and other government employees who also received a pension. The Fairness Act eliminated both of those provisions, and the SSA has been processing those corrected benefit payments in waves ever since. April 2026 is a major processing month for many of those affected individuals, which means lump sum back payments and higher monthly amounts are going out right now. Even if you already knew about the Fairness Act, there's a very good chance that your new payment amount hasn't been fully applied yet. The SSA processes these corrections in batches, and if you haven't seen a change in your payment or received a notice letter, you may simply be waiting in the queue. Or worse, your case may have slipped through without proper attention. That's why it is so important to take action yourself, which I'll walk you through in just a moment. Now let's talk about who this update affects, because I want you to hear your name in this conversation. If you are a retired worker receiving Social Security retirement benefits, you are affected. Particularly if you haven't seen your payment go up since the COLA was announced, or if your amount seemed lower than expected when the year started, there may be a correction owed to you. If you are receiving Social Security Disability Insurance, SSDI, you are also affected. SSDI recipients were included in the COLA adjustment, and any back payment corrections apply to you as well. If you are a widow or widower receiving survivor benefits, pay very close attention here. The government pension offset previously reduced or eliminated survivor benefits for many spouses of public workers. With that provision now gone, thousands of surviving spouses are owed higher monthly payments, and back pay going all the way to the date the Fairness Act was signed. If you spent any part of your career as a teacher, a firefighter, a police officer, a city or county employee, a federal worker, or in any government role, and you also have Social Security work history, You need to listen very carefully right now. You were likely penalized under the old rules, and under the new law, that money is owed back to you. We're talking potentially thousands of dollars in retroactive payments for some individuals. The SSA has confirmed that lump sum retroactive payments are being distributed throughout 2026, and April is one of the primary processing periods. And finally, if you are a spouse currently receiving a spousal benefit based on your partner's Social Security record, particularly if your spouse worked in the public sector, your benefit may also increase as a result of these changes. Margaret, 68, retired school teacher from Ohio. Margaret taught school for 30 years and retired with a teacher's pension. She also had about 14 years of Social Security covered work before she started teaching. Under the old windfall elimination provision, her Social Security benefit was slashed by nearly $400 a month. She was only receiving $310 per month, even though her work record showed she should have been getting closer to $700. With the Fairness Act in place, Margaret's benefit has now been corrected to the full amount she earned, and she is owed back pay for every month since the law was signed. For Margaret, that could mean a lump sum check of several $1,000s, plus a higher monthly payment going forward. That is a life-changing difference for someone living on a fixed income. Robert, 74, widower and retired city worker from Texas. Robert's wife passed away 2 years ago. She had a strong Social Security work record, and Robert had expected to receive a substantial survivor benefit. But because Robert himself had a government pension from his years working for the city, the government pension offset cut his survivor benefit to almost nothing, just $85 a month. Now, with that offset eliminated, Robert is entitled to a much larger survivor benefit and back pay from the date the law went into effect. Robert had no idea this applied to him until a neighbor told him. He called the SSA, confirmed his case was being processed, and is now expecting a corrected payment this April. The difference between what he was receiving and what he should receive is over $900 per month. These are not rare stories. According to the SSA itself, approximately 3.2 million people were affected by the windfall elimination provision and the government pension offset combined. Every single one of those people, or their surviving spouses, may be owed corrected payments, and every single one of them needs to verify their case is being handled properly. The Social Security Administration is processing millions of corrections right now, but they are not chasing you down. They are not calling every affected person individually. Many people are waiting on a notice letter that may never come, or that may have been sent to an old address, or that may have been set aside in a pile of mail without realizing what it was. The SSA has clearly stated that the processing of Fairness Act corrections is ongoing and may take time. And during that time, if your case is not flagged correctly, you could continue receiving a lower benefit than you deserve. There are also seniors who were affected by minor COLA miscalculations who simply never noticed because they assumed the government got it right. If you have not compared your current monthly payment to what it should be based on your earnings record, you could be losing money every single month without knowing it. And here's the part that really hurts. Back pay is only owed from the date the law took effect. Every month that passes without your case being corrected is a month that could potentially affect your total retroactive amount, depending on how SSA processes your specific claim. This is not a situation where waiting is harmless. Waiting could cost you money. Please do not put this off. All right, let's talk about exactly what you need to do step by step. I'm going to make this as simple and clear as I possibly can. The very first thing you need to do is log into your My Social Security account online at ssa.gov. This is the official Social Security Administration website. Once you're logged in, go to your benefit and payment information. Look at your current monthly benefit amount and compare it to what your statement shows you should be receiving based on your earnings record. If you see a discrepancy, or if you're simply not sure, note it down and move to the next step. The second thing you need to do is check whether you fall into any of the categories I mentioned earlier. Did you ever work in a government job with a pension? Were you a teacher, firefighter, police officer, or government employee? Are you receiving survivor benefits as a widow or widower? If the answer to any of those questions is yes, call the Social Security Administration directly at 1-800-772-1213. When you call, ask them specifically whether your account has been updated under the Social Security Fairness Act. Ask them if any retroactive payments are owed to you. Write down the name of the representative you speak with and the date you called. The third step is to gather your documents before you make that call or visit a local office. Have your Social Security number ready, have your most recent benefit statement. If you have a government pension, have your pension information available, including the amount you receive monthly and the name of the pension system. This will help the SSA representative review your case efficiently. Step 4 is to check your mailing address and banking information on file with the SSA. One of the most common reasons people miss their corrected payments or back paychecks is simply that the SSA has an outdated address or the bank account on file has changed. Log into My Social Security at ssa.gov and verify that your direct deposit information is current. This takes about 2 minutes, and it could be the difference between your check arriving or bouncing back into a bureaucratic void. And step 5, if you were denied benefits in the past, or if your benefits were reduced in a way that you didn't fully understand, it is worth contacting your local SSA office for a full review. You can find your local office by going to ssa.gov and using the Office Locator tool. You can also work with a free benefits counselor through programs like the SHIP, State Health Insurance Assistance Program, or contact your local area agency on aging for help navigating this process. I want to leave you with something important. You are not asking for a handout. You are not asking for charity. You are asking for what is yours, what you paid for, what you earned with your hands and your time and your sacrifice over a lifetime of work. The Social Security system exists because of people like you, and you deserve every single dollar that you are owed. These changes, the COLA corrections, the Fairness Act payments, the back pay, they exist because people fought for fairness. And now it is your job to make sure you receive what the law says belongs to you. Do not let it slip past. Do not assume someone else is taking care of it. Take that one step. Make that one phone call. Log into that one website. Because it could mean hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Money that could pay your electric bill, cover your medication, or give you just a little more breathing room in this economy. You worked hard your whole life. Now make sure your retirement works hard for you.